Hello and good morning again. I thought we'd continue on with some of our holiday and Christmas themed project ideas and go to something really simple this time, a little icicle Christmas tree ornament. This may be one of the easiest things that we will ever do on this channel, but it's not without its technical difficulties. You'll have to do a few things right for this to come out properly. Very simple. It's made out of a little piece of 3/16 round bar. The exact diameter bar really doesn't matter. If you wanted to make these really big out of 1/2-inch round bar, I'm sure you could, but I'm not sure why you would. It'd be kind of heavy on your Christmas tree. And the exact length really doesn't matter. This one's probably made out of about 4 inches, but 5-6 inches, make them all different. It's free form, whatever you want to do. We'll just go through the basic process and some ideas for making them look a little bit special and not just black iron. The material that I'm using, and this is a little secret, not really secret probably, but a little tip that is worth watching this video. Every election season, you will find these in yards all over your city or in public right-of-ways. These are the frames that hold all those political signs. And while you're not allowed to take these out before the election, I think that's illegal, after the election, people are looking for something to do with them, and either they collect them and don't know what to do with these, or they are happy for you to go pick up their signs because after the election is over, they just become garbage sitting out in public right-of-ways and fields and people's yards. Check with the property owner first, but if it's okay, you can take these. There's about 8 feet of 3/16 round bar or something vaguely that size. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. In each one of these little sign frames, and you can go out and get 100 of them in an afternoon. And that's several years until the next election cycle worth of little round bar for all sorts of little projects. So I have a few pieces of that round bar we're going to put in the fire. And we'll heat those up, and we'll make this as quick and simple a project as we know how to do. The first thing I want to do is just lightly clean up the end where this was cut. I don't want any sharp edges in the long run. And that's going to be the ring where it's hung. So I'll turn this around and we'll forge out the center section. This stuff cools off really fast. The anvil is cold this morning, so we're going to reheat this a lot. And we want to leave probably about 1 inch of this to make a ring out of later. And the rest of it we just want to flatten out and then put a very light taper so it comes to a point right at the end. Like I say, cools off really fast. We've got to go back to the fire. I have several of these in the fire right now. That's that point that I was talking about. Icicles aren't blunt usually. Now the key when you're drawing this out is it needs to be even. When we're done, we're going to twist this cold, and I'll explain why when we get to that point. But if it's not even, it will not twist evenly. So it's got to be exactly the same things. I want to get this fairly thin. Maybe a 1/16 of an inch thin, 1/4 inch or so wide. It'll be a very delicate little ornament if you're lucky. getting pretty close. Okay, I just realized that when I took my vest off, I left the microphone clipped to the vest. So I don't know if you've heard any of that previous narration or not. We're going for about a 1/16 inch thick and about a 1/4 inch wide. Nothing sacred about any of those measurements, and I want to make sure there's no sharp corners on this. Very lightly round up the edges. And that's really all we need to do to this. We've got a nice little point here so our icicle tapers as it comes to the end. The next thing I want to do is I want to put a little ring in this end so we can hold it. We can just bend this ring around, and I think that would look fine. Or we can put a little curlicue on it and just add a little bit to the ornamentation here. Get that nice and rounded up. So I'm going to use a pair of round nose pliers to make this little curlicue because this is so small and so easily damaged. We'll need to heat that again. We can't even get that one heated, so it cools off so quick. But these are just round nose pliers. This pair came from Blacksmith's Depot, I think. I think Pay Tool sells them. They sell them with scrolling tongs. This pair came from a industrial supplier, probably McMaster-Carr, but they're round nose, not needle nose. You could probably modify needle nose pliers if you wanted to. And I'll use the bigger pair to scroll this end up. You can do this over the anvil. Actually, I'm going to need a little pair to get inside my curlicue. A little higher heat certainly makes this easier. Just kind of fiddle with this till you like it. In some ways it might have been easier to do this at the anvil, or on the horn of the anvil. But that makes a nice little place to hang this from. It's a little organic. So now we're going to let this cool. I think bringing it back up to heat one last time and letting it cool fairly slowly, even though this is mild steel, will help us in the long run. We've let our little flat section cool here, and it's a nice thin flat bar now. I want to file it, not so much because I want it smooth, but because I want it shiny. You could do this with a grinder, sandpaper, like a little palm sander for your woodworking shop would do this just fine. I want to make sure that my corners don't get sharp. I don't want a little knife blade hanging on the Christmas tree. And do both sides. The reason I'm trying to shine this up is I think it looks better either shiny like this, or I'm going to experiment a little bit with some tempering colors, just letting it come up to heat to turn kind of a bronze color, or maybe a pale blue. Although personally I think the silver is probably going to be my favorite. But it has to be clean and shiny for those colors to show up. Now this one I did the same thing to, and I tempered it to a real dark blue. and it really just doesn't hardly show. You can see a little bit of color up in here, but this, I put wax on it and it just pretty much turned black. So it might as well have been left black. Now it's time to twist. If we had left this, or gotten this hot and twisted it, we would lose our polish work with a file, and it would be extremely difficult to bring that back up to a bright finish after it's twisted. So we're going to twist it cold. I want to twist at the tip a little bit more, so I'm going to go in. And this is why you need a nice, even taper, because this will twist faster at the thin spots, and the tip is a little bit thinner, which is why I had to move up a little bit. And I'll move back out some. I don't think you want to twist this too much. You can experiment and try different amounts of twist. If you're real gentle, I'm using the vice grips because I just don't have a twisting wrench that'll do this. If you're real careful, you can go back up there and adjust it. Just don't squeeze hard enough to squish that. So that's really all there is to this. If you want to leave it silver, it's done. In the interest of not leaving well enough alone, let's see if we can add a little color, some of those tempering colors to this. If you try to do this in the forge, it is going to go way too fast, and you're going to end up just like I did with the other one, at a real dark color, and you won't be able to tell that you did this unless you look really close. Doing this in an oven would probably be the better option, because that would be a very slow treatment. Okay, that's starting to change color. I don't want to let it go too far, so I'm going to quench that. Let's see what we end up with here. I think it's got a little interest to it, but I think in the long run I am going to like the polished up silver better, and that does save a step. But experiment on your own and see what you like best. I think if we wax this, it's going to change color enough again that we may not like it. So I think what I'm going to do is clear coat these. And I've got a few more to do, so I'll do all of them and then we'll clear coat them. That's about as quick and simple a project as I can think of for a Christmas idea. Kind of fun to do. It's interesting to see how that twist develops and see whether you got it an even thickness. If it twists funny, you can try to grab it in different places, but it's real easy to squish, so be careful. I was going to clear coat these, but apparently I am out of clear lacquer, so the next time I'm at the hardware store I will pick up a can and I'll clear coat these. You could certainly wax them, it just may change the color a little bit. It's whatever you really like to do. And if you leave them like this, they'll rust a nice red rusty color. So that's it for today's video. I have another form of these that I'll do in a second video at some point probably. We'll see if we get around to that. There are other videos doing similar things online, and you can certainly find some of those. I appreciate you watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment. Hit that subscribe button. Get out to the shop. Do something just for the fun of it. Stay safe. Wear your safety glasses, and we'll see you next time.